Awesome. Tatiana Arrington here, and I'm here with Jason. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well. So I had the chance to screen the documentary last night, and right off the bat, I feel like there's a specific style that comes with documentary filmmaking, but in this film, there's also really cinematic elements as well. Can you talk a little bit more about the film style and the visual storytelling that you wanted to convey?
Thank you so much.
Of
I don't
course.
think there's anything that that makes me feel really good that you noticed that. Thank you.
Of course.
I think for me it's being, cinematic is yes, it's the way that you frame the camera and the way that you do things, but it's also, I think, what I try to focus mostly on is how I'm listening and telling those stories and where I'm moving in and out and how we're showing the spaces that we're in. And I like them to be, interesting and intimate and, kind of off to the side of things. So the viewer feels like they're inside of these moments, rather than having, two cameras and cross coverage and, that's great. And that has a beautiful purpose in the world. But I think for me, I'm an emotional guy, and I like to really, feel the moments. And the
Mhm.
way that I do that is I get in and find interesting places to shoot from. And sometimes it drives people crazy as we're running around looking for the angles, but I just want something that is feels pure, doesn't feel like you're in looking directly at someone. If you notice, a lot of the stuff that I do with Jennifer's, a lot of from the side or from up above, kind of looking down and zooming
Mhm.
down in, matching that with like a beautiful kind of intimate moment, profile. And I think that allows the viewer to understand where we are and then almost immediately get right into what we're doing. And
Absolutely, yeah. Especially in some of those more personal and intimate moments, I noticed that too.
yeah,
And I
yeah.
also wanted to ask, even with Jennifer, right, an icon,
Mhm.
what was it like collaborating with her? Like, how did you guys work together? How much freedom or control did you have in the directing process with her?
I think because I've been working with her for so long,
Hmm.
there's a trust, that you get, and that you kind of earn with each other. And I think, this is I don't want to say a culmination because we'll continue working together, but this was really kind of a moment where, you know, I just got everything.
Yeah.
I think the idea is, and where we've gotten to is we shoot everything. And unless she says, "Hey, give me a minute,"
Hmm.
I'm allowed, she offered me full access. And that's what we have with halftime as well. And a lot of the stuff that we've done. And then, we figure it out, as we kind of get to the edit and we know, okay, what do we want? What are the stories that we want to tell? And but it's when you have that kind of unfiltered access and when you have that trust and when your subject understands your intention and knows what you're going to do, that's how you get real pure film making, pure film, pure story, and pure emotion and trust. And you can see that in the final product. And it's been a journey. There's moments, where you kind of go, what's this really happening? And you're like,
Yeah.
such an icon and incredible human. And here, it's been a great journey.
Hmm. And you're so in those moments too, obviously shooting some of those more personal moments. And we know Jennifer, right? I feel like she's an open book. And then with Ben, he's a little bit more reserved, private. How do you kind of balance some of those moments between the two of them?
I read a room. You can read a room pretty
Yeah.
quickly and easily, and that's also my job. Is every room I go into, I have to read it. I have
Hmm.
to understand what's happening. I have to understand what are the conversations. One of my dad was a war journalist, and I always asked him, how do you shoot? How do you shoot? And he said, I'm never going to teach you how to shoot. He goes, but I'm going to teach you how to listen. And it was the greatest piece of advice I ever got in my entire life. It's just listen to what's going on and understand and follow and track the story. And so, there's moments where, you know, you either pull all the way back and zoom in, or you're, right there, and you're going along the journey. And I think visually that tells a story in and of itself.
Mhm.
Are you supposed to, where the camera is placed, or what your bird's eye view is. Are you up in the conversation, or are you kind of outside of the conversation? So I think the situation really, if you're in tune with what's going on and you're listening to what's going on, will tell you what to do,
Yeah. Okay, Jason, I'm gonna steal that gem for myself. Actually. Um, what did you find parts of the film? Which parts would you say were more powerful or more like filled with sadness or very poignant? Like, is there a certain moment in the film that you say really like, oh man, that was it. We got that piece. Like something that really hits you.
So Broken Like Me, when we were filming that, and also Rebound,
Hmm.
um, those were those were moments where, the set is really quiet. These are very powerful scenes, and um, her performance in them are incredibly powerful. And so you can't help but to kind of take in that energy. And so I remember, Broken Like Me, we wrapped extremely late, and I remember just kind of being like, wow, everyone was affected on set. We all were just kind of like, okay, this is powerful. And the same with Rebound. I mean, there's a bird's eye shot in Rebound kind of going down to her as she screams. Those were, I remember we were walking back to the trailer, and I said, how was it today? And she's like, we got through it,
Yeah.
so those were two big ones for me.
Did you learn anything new about yourself on this project? And did you learn anything new about Jennifer on this project?
I mean, I think, I learned something new about myself all the time when you're making a film, because you have to be vulnerable too as a filmmaker. And as well as you can't imagine how, what your subject is feeling, as well as they're, being, an open book. Just turn the camera on you. This is vulnerable. This is a vulnerable place for me to be in, you
Right.
know. And so I think it's just every experience makes you grow. Every opportunity makes you grow. Every failure makes you grow. Everything, you're constantly, um, I'm constantly growing and learning throughout these experiences.
Yeah. And what about Jennifer? Did you learn anything new about her?
I mean, I learn something new about her every day when you work with her. I mean, she's
Yeah.
a powerhouse,
Hmm.
she's a powerhouse, and I'm just really proud of her, and for doing this, and for taking this on, and following through with her artistic vision and her dreams and her goals, and doing it. I think it's an example to be set, for any of us in any parts of our life, no matter how small or how big. Betting on yourself is always the best thing to do. And
Yeah.
sometimes it takes people a while to realize that. Not talking about Jennifer, but talking about us. And when you see people kind of bet on themselves, that's special, and it gives, us as, people the confidence to do that. So
I
always
agree.
bet on yourself. That's the
It'll
number
never
one
steal you
thing.
wrong.
It'll never steal you wrong, ever,
Yeah.
ever. It takes a while to figure that out in life, but when you figure that out, you always know, bet on yourself.
Hmm. And before I let you go, all the cameos were great, but did you have a
Mhm.
favorite?
I've been asked this question. You know, they're all great. And,
Of
I have
course.
a personal connection with, Fat Joe from 20 years ago. We worked together. I know Jay Shetty from multiple other projects, and, everyone, Neil deGrasse Tyson, just being in his presence is just like, incredible. But as I continue talking through these interviews, Jane Fonda walking on set is a whole vibe.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow, what
Hmm.
she stands for, what she's done, her career, her her activism, this is someone, that has, charted her path and has, bet on herself,
Hmm.
speaking of betting on herself. So I think, the Jane Fonda moment, is always like, when I think back, like it's a different, it's a different kind of feeling when she walked on set,
Yeah,
it's different. There's just something, it's just special.
there's a presence.
There's a presence. That's the
Right.
word I was looking for. There's a presence.
Hmm.
Everyone has a presence,
No, for
that
sure.
king.
Jennifer Lewis definitely has a presence. I was glad you guys
I
caught all
mean,
of that whole thing on camera.
isn't she incredible?
She's a yes. I was looking for
She's
a word, but
incredible.
incredible. I was like Jane
Incredible doesn't even
Love,
do it. Incredible doesn't even do it. Like she is boundless,
a
a
force to be
force,
reckoned with. Yeah, I
and
love that entire
so
scene in the film.
and she is so lovely, and she's every cameo. Everyone was lovely to everyone.
Yeah,
It was like family vibes. Instantly when people showed up. Because we all were there for one thing, one goal.
absolutely. Well, congratulations again. I'll be super
Thank
excited
you.
for audiences to see this next, installment of the series. So congratulations, super, super awesome. I loved it.
Thank you so much. It was nice to meet you, Tatiana.
Likewise, you too.